Dear viewers, welcome to another video in the series of Minitab tutorials. In my previous video, I was explaining about time series plot, a graphical representation used to analyze data with respect to time. So during that video, I have told at some point a time series plot may not give us the result that we are looking for, and instead we need to understand how we need to move to multivariate chart. So in this video, we will understand about what are those scenarios where we need to move from time series plot to a multivariate chart. We will generate time series plot and multivariate chart for the same set of data, and we will analyze the output next to each other. Let's get into the video. As I was explaining in the introduction, we can use time series plot under graph in Minitab to analyze graphically data with respect to time. And as we click on time series plot, there are multiple options available. I have explained about each of these options in my previous video. But when you are trying to draw a time series plot for multiple parameters, and those multiple parameters also having subgroup within the multiple parameters, then sometimes your time series plot may not give you the results that you are looking for, or it will not clearly explain you what you are trying to understand. So let's try and generate a multiple parameter time series plot with groups within the multiple parameters. So I select this option and I click OK. Now what I do, I select CSAT_1, which is customer support score or customer satisfaction score, and here my multiple parameter. So what is customer satisfaction score for desktop computers and laptop computers? So I'm going to select model. So this is my multiple parameter, and within this parameter there are groups available, which is support type, which is nothing but is this call handled only through voice, or it was a remote support where the customer support or tech support agent was able to take the customer computer through a remote desktop connection and fix the problem. So that is what we call by support type. So I've selected these two options, and now when I click on time scale, here I can select week_1, which is nothing but the time related parameter, the column which talks about the time related parameter. So I click OK. So once I click OK, and then again I click OK, in this screen I get a time series plot for multiple parameters with groups. So what do we mean by time series plot with multiple parameters with group? So here if you see, there are 4 different indicators: a blue circle, a red color box, a green color diamond symbol, and a purple color triangle symbol. And what does these represent? It represents desktop computers remote support, desktop computers voice support, laptop computers remote support, laptop computer voice support. So this is where you need to understand what do we mean by totally independent parameters getting analyzed and subgroups of a larger population getting analyzed. So friends, please understand, if these are stock prices of 4 different companies, then they are totally independent of each other. Then this is the right graph in which we need to analyze. However, if these are 4 stock prices where it got clubbed together and it was made as a mutual fund where that is the estimated earnings, or what we call it as NVA, net value, right? Net asset value, NAV. So the NAV of the mutual fund is dependent on these 4 stocks. Then what will happen? These 4 stocks are factors that will impact the NAV. So if I am trying to understand the NAV of a mutual fund where the 4 stock prices are involved, then they are not independent. But as it is, if these are stock prices of 4 individual stocks, they are independent. So this is where you need to understand what is called independent parameters and what is called factors of a bigger or subgroups of a group, where you are analyzing the subgroups of a larger data. So in this example, if these are independent parameters, that's great. So we can see how the desktop remote support score is for week 1, how the desktop voice score is for week 1. So for week 1, you can see here the blue circle, the red color box, the green color diamond, and the purple color triangle. All this can be understood in this particular graph. However, it does not give you a clear picture of what is the overall trend. If at all this rolls up to the overall CSAT score of the contact center, this graph may not give you the information that you are looking for. This is where I will take you to a different graph. As of now, let me close this graph. So now I click on stats, I click on quality tools, and within quality tools there is something called multivary chart. I select this multivary chart. So again, the same CSAT_1 is my response parameter, model of computer is my first factor, support type is my second factor, and the chronological data week_1 is my third factor. I can go up to 4 factors, but when you are trying to convert a multivary chart with respect to time series, then always your third factor or the last factor, here third factor is the last factor. If you're going for 4 factors, then your fourth factor should be time related data. All other factors should come above, and the time related data should come as your last factor. So in this case, model, support type are my first 2 factors. The third one is my time related factor, which is week_1. Now if I click OK, what I get a graph which looks like this. So now let's understand what is this graph talking about. Now if you see, the additional thing that we are seeing here is all these individual parameters are getting averaged. What do I mean by that? Remote support for desktop computer and laptop is circled with a plus sign. So remote support for desktop is somewhere here on week 1, and for laptop it is somewhere here for week 1, and the average of remote support will be this red color box. Similarly, for voice support, desktop is somewhere here, laptop is somewhere here, and the average is what you see here as a red color box, and the average of remote support and voice is the green color diamond symbol that you see. So what we now need to understand is, if you see the trend of the green color graph, that talks about the overall contact center CSAT score trend. However, you take only this red color here, and then if you try to get the trend, as you see my mouse pointer moving, if you see the trend, it talks about remote support alone. Or if you try to see this box here and then try to connect with this, it talks about the voice support alone. So what it is doing, a multivary chart is actually rolling up the individual factors with their average, and with that you will be able to understand how each of that particular parameter trend is, and how the average trend, as the average rolls up, you are able to understand the larger picture. This is something that you will not be able to understand in a normal time series plot. Moreover, what you can also understand is, if you see here, remote support on week 7, there is a huge variation between desktop and laptop computers. If you see, desktop is trending somewhere close to 95 or 97, whereas laptop is trending somewhere around 65, and the average is somewhere around 82. So the variation is also understood here. With respect to that, the average is understood. Along with the average, the trend is also understood. That is what a multivary chart gives us, which a typical time series plot may not be able to clearly explain. Just to make you understand better, I will try and take both these charts to a PowerPoint presentation, plot them next to each other, and then we will be able to understand. So in my computer, I do not have any PowerPoint windows open. So if I say right click, copy graph to PowerPoint, Minitab will open a new PowerPoint and it will take this graph to that particular PowerPoint. So here it is. If you see here, my PowerPoint, new PowerPoint is open and the graph is copied. So now what we do, we will go to the time series plot and we will try and copy this also. So right click, send to PowerPoint. So what will happen? So this data will be copied to PowerPoint in 2 different slides. However, we have to analyze it together. So I copy this and try to paste it next to each other. So here I have the time series plot on the right hand side of my window, and I have multivary chart on the left hand side of my window. We will try and minimize the size of both these charts so that we will be able to understand them better. So let me try to put them next to each other and then take this to the slideshow mode. So friends, now I am in a slideshow mode, and if you understand here your individual parameters are shown as a separate line graph. Why? Because time series plot is created or is done with an understanding that these are all individual parameters. So each of these individual parameter will fluctuate. Whereas if you see the multivary chart is designed to understand how one single output parameter is getting influenced by factors. Pretty much the data is same, but you need to know when to use what. And as you see here, your multivary chart gives you a larger picture in terms of the green color trend graph, which is missing here. You cannot understand the overall customer support CSAT score, or you cannot understand overall contact center CSAT score by this, because time series chart is designed to give you independent trends of multiple parameters, whereas multivariate chart is designed to roll up independent values to its average, as you will be able to see the bigger picture, right? So this is the difference between time series chart and multivariate chart. Each have its own purpose. We need to know when to use what, under what scenario which one should be used. I hope this video was useful. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. For more videos on Minitab tools and techniques, quality management videos, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.